Fancy managers. Oh, Reedy, stick your arm out the way. You see down your armpit. What a start to the podcast. Welcome, everybody. This is game week 26. Reedy's just jumped off. What a start. Brilliant. Love it when we go live and Chris Reed always messes it up for us. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Fantasy Podcast with FPL Addicts. We are live for game week 26. We have had a cracking week of FPL. Not only online watching the games, but also in person. We just recovered from the FPL Social from the weekend where we hosted the inaugural event. We had a meet up in Melbourne with all our FPL friends in Australia, the first ever. Guru, have you recovered from the event?
Oh, such a great day. Obviously, we met so many good people. It was just, I think I've only just about recovered now. It was a big day. We got there. I know you got there a bit earlier to sort of set up. I think I got there around sort of 1:30. The event started at 2. And I was out until 2 a.m. 2 a.m. For the whole day, and just had a great day. We did debates. We did, we had some food. We had some drinks. We did some football challenges. We did a quiz. We did some more FPL debates. Yeah. Then we went out and watched an A-League game, which was Melbourne Victory Newcastle. And that game had everything as well. There was VAR, there was red cards, there was just everything going on. And then, the ones that were kind of left at the end of the day, we went to watch the Man United Southampton game. And, everyone was up in arms when Ronaldo took it around the keeper and had that shot and it got cleared off the line. We were all just, everyone was just, it was a really, really good day. And, I think everyone enjoyed themselves. And all the people we met were great. Obviously, there's too many to name, so I don't want to name drop everyone because I just thought everyone that was there was great. And obviously we had Bill there as well, who was Australia's number 1 last year, and he gave us some interesting insights too. So it was a great day, and Ultra Football was a top location as well. So loved it.
Yeah, that's it, mate. You've literally took out named everything I was going to say. So, what a great day, as you said. And we all came together for the first time. Obviously, Chris Reed didn't join us, but he has just joined the stream back as well. Welcome back, Reedy. Just in your own time, mate. You do what you want, as always. But we were just saying how good the FPL Social was at the weekend. We're just recovering from game week 25. You did get a mention when we were on the couch reviewing game week 24. Because you absolutely smashed it, mate, with a 96-point haul. How were you gutted you missed out on that? And did you enjoy the FPL stream?
Yeah, it was nice to get a mention. Cheers for that, mate. And obviously show you boys how it's done. Big score for me. So I'm happy about that. And, what a great event that you guys put up there for people, the FPL community in Australia. And, it was nice to see people get involved and, we had a few competitions, a few games there and stuff like that. I think you guys, you've done a fantastic job with that. So hopefully that's a sign of things to come in the future and, onwards and upwards.
Yeah, that's it, mate. We were gutted you weren't there, but you were there in spirit. You were there online. And a big thank you to everyone that did attend, show up, and also be there online as well as those who sent messages, the likes of Quentin Dunn from the FPL Amateurs. He sent a few messages into, and he also spammed the comments as well, as he usually does, which is fantastic support from him. And also Ryan from a football chat box as well. Big thank you to you for sending your message in as well. So so much to get through. We are at game week 26. This is, of course, FPL Addicts Game Week 26 preview pod. Thank you to Esports Live and our sponsors, Bonus Bank. Make sure you check out the details in the caption below to receive 25% off the premium subscription for Bonus Bank. They show you how to beat the bookies and take advantage of their bonus promotions, which many of our members do in our Discord community. as well as those who are fans and watching online. So wherever you're watching, give the pod some love, give it a like below, make sure you subscribe, and feel free to jump in the comments and drop us a line, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can, either online or a bit later on. But let's get into this week's pod. We have got some results to review from the game week. So, Guru, we're going to start with you, mate. I want you to pick a result. There's 10 kind of fixtures on there from this game week. It was a couple of double games for a few teams. Who were you liking?
I'm not going to pick the Spurs Wolves game. I'm not going to pick it.
Really?
Hats off to Wolves for the win. But look, I will pick. Oh, there were some crackers, wasn't there? The Leicester game. Oh,
Where do you want to start, mate?
There's a lot. You know what? I will pick Everton against Leeds.
Oh, I knew he was going to go Everton. I knew it. I could see it a mile off.
I'm going to pick it because Everton, you know, they're the new manager bounce.
They've been a bit up and down, really, though, haven't they?
Yeah, up and down. They haven't looked good under Benitez. Lampard's come in. They got the win in the FA Cup. They then lost to Newcastle.
Yeah.
You know, they went back home for this one, played against Leeds. You know, and Leeds had their moments. So Dan James had a few opportunities, and Rodrigo hit the bar. And you know, it wasn't like Leeds weren't threatening. They did have opportunities and come close, but you know, Everton got those early couple of goals, and you know, Anthony Gordon was just unbelievable. We got another, you know, double-digit haul. He did get lucky to get the last goal. It kind of sort of deflected off him, but he was just a menace throughout the game, and he was really, really good to watch. You know, Richarlison looked really good as well. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who's obviously not been good for fantasy managers in the last sort of month or so, he looked like he was a little bit sharper as well. You know, Seamus Coleman, who's a bit of a blast from the past. Michael Keane grabbed the goal, which I know Ozspike's happy about because Michael Keane's going to come off his bench this week. So, yeah, from a fantasy point of view, there's some really interesting players and points in this one. And Everton have got a lot of double game weeks coming up as well. So, yeah, I'm going to be keeping some eyes on some of these Everton assets. And last one to mention was Van der Beek, who controlled that midfield.
Yeah, he was looking good, Van der Beek, to be fair. He does look weird in a blue jersey, although he didn't really play too many times in a red one, to be fair. But, yeah, Anthony Gordon, as you mentioned, I think we did pick up on him just before Christmas, didn't we? I think you might have picked him out there on the Guru section, which will be coming up later. And he's still performing. Lampard still likes him, so it's kind of good to see him continuing in there as well. You know what? Seamus Coleman, one of my old favourites, actually. I did like Seamus. He pulled out, and he's looking a bit more comfortable maybe in that formation. But over to you, Reedy. Go on, what Guru stole your Everton fixture, so which one were you looking to review next?
Well, you know what? In terms of fixtures, it wasn't exactly the best week, was it? There's a few 1-0ers in there, and
6 clean sheets out of 10 fixtures, mate.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's not apart from City, of course. I don't really want to pick that game because I don't think too many people are happy with Raheem Sterling bagging a hat-trick, you know, any FPL owners that got rid of him. So I am going to go for Brighton. And I know people probably that was an obvious sort of result for Brighton to win that one. Most people would have expected it. But, you know, Brighton, as we all know, great team, play great football. Sometimes they just find it hard to stick it in the back of the net. But they didn't fail on this occasion against a Watford side at the moment. Have brought in Hodgson, looked good defensively at the beginning, but they've just sort of faded out and not really offered anything in attack. So Brighton, brilliant, really. Neil Maupay getting that goal, and then that man Adam Webster, which I can see the Guru smiling there. And you know, a few FPL managers brought that guy in, and he managed to haul and bring a big load of points. Obviously, he had the United game as well, but the Watford game is the one that he hauled in. And yes, so that one for me. I think Brighton, great team. I've enjoyed watching them a couple of times this season. And yeah, fantastic result for them.
Yeah, good shout. And I think obviously we'll get the Webster one. That we'll save that one for a little bit later for our special guest. I'm sure he's going to drop him into his team when he talks about it very shortly. But yeah, Brighton unfortunately couldn't do the business against United. United coming away with a 2-0 victory there, and they held on for the first half. I was obviously a bit nervous, especially after watching them against Southampton. but we came back and got that win. And Viva Ronaldo, of course. A couple of shout-outs, though. Come on, mate, you love it. You captained him, didn't you?
No, I captained Bruno, so it was
fair
sour grapes for anyone that had Ronaldo, sort of collected those 3 bonus points. But listen, we can't complain. It's about time. United assets delivered, isn't it, Guru? Come on, mate. We've waited long enough. So.
It is, but then at the same time, I did have Bruno on that double game week, so I feel like I've got a lot of change out of Bruno in the last month. But yeah, look, I was a bit worried about Bruno. You know, he did get the goal right at the end. It wasn't like
last
it was
kick of the game.
We were talking about it at the social at the we were at the pub watching the game against Southampton, and we were sort of watching it thinking, what have we done? Like, why have we? Me and FPL Geordie was saying, why have we captained him? What have we done? And and then even in the Brighton game, the first half wasn't wasn't that simple for United. It wasn't. It took a moment of brilliance from Ronaldo, like absolute brilliance, and the red cards kind of opened it up a bit. And then he did save our skins at the end, Bruno, with with that great finish. It was a great goal, but I think it is probably about time. United saved a lot of managers, but. Yeah, not me personally, because I did get a bit of change out of Bruno in that double game week. So, I've definitely run my luck with him.
Yeah, and you've got to pick your weeks, as we know, with all these assets. Just on to a couple of shout-outs. FPL Mike Alpin, thanks for joining us. Good to see you in here. Matt Gasden, he was at the FPL Social on Saturday. He absolutely loved it. Ollie and Elliot, yes, they are still recovering from the FPL Social. It was that big of an event.
He won the quiz, didn't he?
He won. No, Seb won it. So yeah, Seb won that one. A quick one for Mike Halpin. You might want to take this, Guru. Is Bruno a hold for the Leeds game?
Oh, such a tough one. I think if you've got Salah already, and if you've got Salah and Bruno, probably say it's a hold, because then you got Watford the week after.
Yeah.
But for me, like say my own team, I've got Bruno. I'm probably going to get rid of him for Salah. I've got Son, who I'm liking with the 2 fixtures more than Bruno. But I think if you've already got Salah, you probably just hold Bruno and then have him ready for Watford in game week 27. Derby. That's a derby, that, isn't it? Leeds versus Man United. So it could be quite a cagey game, maybe. You never know. But I'd hold.
Fair enough. And hello to PSB. Hope you're well, mate. And thanks for joining in. So we're just going to quickly review the mini leagues. We'll look at maybe the top 3 in there, starting in 3rd place. In our free FPL Addicts Mini, competitive as always. We've got the Kotu Classic Chammer. He does join us every now and then in the YouTube. So hopefully he joins shortly. But he's in 3rd place. We've got our special guest who's coming on very shortly. TM, the FPL Planner, in 2nd place. Overall rank of 794, scary stuff. But in the lead, no Kane, no gain. Dodie, Donald Breslin, 78th overall in the world, 1,717 points. He's absolutely flying. He's been on the podcast already. Like there's no curse on this podcast, so the planner doesn't have to worry because it's pushing on. Reedy, I know you've been doing well recently, but are you anywhere in the sights of here?
Oh, creeping up. There you go.
There's 800 people in this league, I think, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough gig, and those guys at the top, they're sort of a good chunk of points ahead, and there's a lot of gaining to be done. At the end of the day, though, you play your own game, and if I end up anywhere near that top 10 towards the end of the season, that's the aim for me. I'd be really happy with that. But props to them guys, absolutely smashing it.
Yeah, absolutely smashing it. And over to our paid mini. At the top there, Dodie's still killing it. We've got Budgie, who's been on the podcast as well. He's in 2nd place. And Jordy Wilson, who flew in from Sydney to Melbourne on Saturday for the FPL Social. What a hero. He's in 3rd place. I'd put him at the top there if I could, but unfortunately I can't, Jordy. But he's absolutely flying. Full of insight. He did well in the quiz on Saturday with you as well, didn't he, in the trivia, Guru?
Yeah, he was good. So we did, what was it, the amateur versus the semi-pro? And
the semi-pro, that's it.
I don't think this amateur got a shot in the end. Yeah, Geordie and me, we did well, and Geordie was
got him all right.
He knows his FPL. It was good fun. Top bloke, and I remember I think when I walked back and sort of dropped off at the hostel, and said thanks for coming. Unbelievable coming all the way from Sydney. So hats off to him.
Yeah, unreal effort. And yeah, the paid league is looking really good. Bit of movement there, a couple of green arrows. David Wilson, who's from Bonus Bank, he's just got himself in there. He's doing well. So shout out to you, David. And over to our, where is it, a little podcast mini. So where are we in here? I wanted Elliot on tonight because I've gone above him, which is good. So sitting at the bottom, Statman Dave, he was behind the scenes on Saturday. He's sitting in 6th place. Not a bad score with 60. He was one of the higher ones this week out of a few of us. Elliot Craig in 5th place. He's not doing too good in there. He's dropped just below me. And then Jiller's Killers in 4th place. I'll just go on to my team and quickly review. Pretty pleased with the Diaz, 10 points at the back, with Arnold with 6. Williams came in, gave me nothing, and Foster, but not to worry because in the middle of the park, Bowen did the business for me, and then obviously my main man, Cristiano Ronaldo, getting that absolute finish on against Brighton, hauling with me the 20 points all up. So, 58 points, 11 above the average. I'm 550 in the overall in the world now, so I'm definitely improving. I know it's been a bit of a slog for me to climb up the ladder, but I am touching, I'm getting a bit closer. So I'm starting to get a bit of momentum. 3 green arrows in a row. And excited to see where that can go. But yeah, overall, not too bad. And over to Ollie, he got 67. He got a decent score there, didn't he?
He's done well. Yeah, he's done well. Is Harry Winks in his lineup, or?
Winks didn't make the lineup. So Harry Winks coming into the squad at the weekend absolutely blew everyone away on the couch at the FPL social. We couldn't believe what he did there, but he's left a couple of points on there. Sanchez with the 8, obviously because of that clean sheet against Watford. But Bowen's obviously done the business for him, and the Robertson one I really like as well. I know, Reedy, you brought him into your UEFA team, didn't you? Into your UCL. So Robertson, you picked him over Trent, and that you've got Gay again pulling 6. He got his 6 points. He's done absolutely superb for him this season, hasn't he?
Loves him. He's been a really underrated asset, I think. Gay for $4.5 million. He's got a lot.
I feel like he's a bit of a Justin kind of haul from last year, isn't he? So very similar.
I'm not sure where he's sitting with his total points, but I think for his price, he's probably doing quite well. Yeah,
let's have a quick look. Where are we on here? So his price 4.5, total 72 points. So he's definitely up there, isn't he? But on 75 points, Christopher Reed, a very good score. Did you want to review your team quick, mate?
Yeah, give it a go. Why not, eh? Why not? It's a good score for me. Solid score. I was quite pleased. Kufal, was the only letdown, and suppose Fabianski as well, of course, in defence. But West Ham v Leicester was always going to be a sort of tricky game, and Leicester got those 2 goals to come back to wipe out my clean sheets. But TAA, Cucurella, those guys got me the points at the back, so I was quite pleased with that. In the middle, Mr. Consistent, as I always say, Jared Bowen. He's just been a breath of fresh air this season. Breath of fresh air. And, he is really, really crucial for West Ham and their sort of push for Europe and stuff like that. And, from an FPL point of view, I don't see many people taking him out anytime soon, that's for sure. Bruno Fernandes. That man Bruno, who we normally don't talk about, to be honest.
He's had a very up and down season.
We don't talk.
Every 10 games or so he hauls.
Yeah, we don't talk about Bruno, but on this occasion, we certainly do, because he's brought that haul in at the double game week. And he's got that last-minute goal to shoot him up in terms of the points to get me that 24 with the captain on him. So I was very happy with that. I did have Ronaldo in as well. I mean, to have Bruno and Ronaldo in, and considering how United season's going, what am I playing at? You know what I mean? It must be crazy, but it's paid off for me. Ronaldo got his goal as well, and Neil Maupay is the other one. I brought him in. Yeah, brought Neil in for possibly for a -4. It might have been. And he brought some points for me. Got his goal against Watford. Don't think he really did much against United. Oh no, I had 2 transfers. There we go.
Yeah, 2 there.
So I had the 2. Yeah. So I brought me 8 points, and overall pretty pleased, I should say.
Yeah, it's a good one. I mean, Neil Maupay, he's been actually bagging goals this season. He's not had a bad season at all. I think he's outperformed, obviously, his previous seasons. 8 goals, 3 assists for this season so far. Someone you want to stay long-term?
I think so for now, yeah, definitely. Brighton, good fixtures. They're at home next, I think, against Burnley.
3
Burnley. Yeah, exactly.
Game in hand as well.
Yeah, exactly. And not only that, he's not the most, don't get me wrong, he's not the most clinical of strikers. There are better strikers out there, more clinical, more precise, so to speak. But, I might as well keep him in. I've brought him in now. He's about 6.5, is it, something like that. He might have rose recently, but why not? Why not keep him in? Brighton have got a good fixture next game at home. Yeah. And as you said, games in hand and stuff. So, yeah, he's definitely someone I'm going to keep.
Yeah, nice, man. Well done on another good week there. Guru, 78 points. Made 1 transfer there. You have the captain's armband on Bruno. Fernando. Talk to us about your team, mate.
It's all about that man, Webster, I think, this week. The web, I actually messaged Ozspike on Wednesday last week. So I messaged him. And
a bit of Brighton intel.
Had a little chat because obviously he's he goes he lives half a year in Australia, half a year in Brighton, and goes to all the games. And I thought I've got to message him just to make sure he was nailed. He didn't get back to me until I think it was well after deadline. He barely goes online, and he was on Instagram and he said sorry, but yeah, Webster's nailed. I was like, I've done it anyway. I saw he was 4.4 million, and I read an article where Graham Potter was just saying how good he was on the ball. And how he sort of rose up the leagues, and I'd seen they'd obviously lost Dan Burn, and I saw that he got that double-digit haul against Chelsea, and I was like, yeah, look, he's coming in. I said it at the social that he was going to be my transfer, so I did it, whilst we were at the social, got it done, and I had 2 transfers, so I only used 1, so I've still got 2 for this double game week.
Nice.
But yeah, good week. I've obviously had a really bad sort of November, December where I just flew down with my rank, and now I've got a couple of back-to-back green arrows. And yeah, Webster, Bruno Fernandes with that late goal shot me up. Bowen, who everyone's got anyway. Sanchez, really good week. Other than that, I thought I was a bit unlucky not to get a Calvert-Lewin assist in the Everton game, and Ollie Watkins' goal, like that was tough because I'm not sure if that was offside, the one against Newcastle. It was just marginal, and that's probably another 4, 5, or maybe 6 points with bonus that I've probably lost out on there. I just can't get any luck with Watkins in the last sort of few weeks, but overall, good week, and I've got 2 transfers now for this double game week, so I have to think about what I want to do.
Yeah, listen, coming off that score, 2 transfers in the bank. You're in a good position there, mate. So we're excited to see what you're going to do here. But what we'll do is just mention our, when I was on the paid mini, got a bit distracted, didn't I? So I've got to give a shout out to a few of our winners. So during the course of our season at FPL Addicts, we give $20 cash prize each week to the manager of the week, whoever's got the biggest haul. So going back to game week 23, we actually went into a playoff because we had two managers tied, and Darren Wickham came out on top of that playoff in game week 24. So that means he is the game week 23 manager of the week. That's his 2nd award of the season. So congratulations to you, mate. You've now bagged $40 this year, 2 awards in your trophy cabinet. So congratulations. In game week 24, we didn't actually, I don't know if we mentioned this on the couch on Saturday at the FPL social, but we did brag about his score. And Christopher Reed, congratulations, mate. You are the manager of the week for game week 24. Unbelievable stuff with the 96 points. Have you got a speech prepared?
Oh, I've got a speech prepared. You're joking, aren't you? Just say, thanks, boys. You came, you saw, you lost. And it was nice to collect another manager of the week for the year, and long may it continue. I've got my eyes fully fixed on that monthly prize there for the bonus bank, paid league. So if I can manage to get that one, even just one for the season, that will do it for me. But thanks, boys. Appreciate it.
Cracking work, mate. Like you said, picking up another award. You've picked up a couple of awards in other leagues that I know you've shared with us, which is great. And fingers crossed for you. You can push on and get this bonus bank $200. So fantastic, mate. And then Going on to game week 25, congratulations to Christian Stojanov. 85 points he hauled this week. Congratulations, Christian. You've done fantastic in there, mate, hauling that score, so well done. So we're going to ping through to the Guru section now. Matt, I know you've got a bit of content ready for us, mate. So what we'll do, we'll get over to you and you take it away, buddy.
Nice one, Jack. And look, we'll do some differentials to start with, like we always do. I've got 3 differentials. I've got 3 teams and a couple of captains I think could be good for this double game week. So I'm going to go with Fabinho, which 1.1%. I'm actually looking at him in my own team with this Jota news. So I'm going to really wait for, to see if Jota's out. He's obviously potentially got a swollen ankle. I can't get to Mane. The Mane Salah sort of combo. I'm kind of thinking maybe go in for Fabinho as my third Liverpool player. He's got, I think, 32 points in 3 game weeks. Leeds and Norwich have had a really bad record from defending set pieces this season as well, especially Leeds. We've seen with Fabinho, the amount of goals he scored, he sort of popped up from corners, and he seems to be on a bit of a hot streak. So I'm actually looking at him as a differential. Another one that I'm liking the look of is Podence from Wolves, 0.2%. He's 5.5 million. Was really good against us on the weekend in the Spurs Wolves game. Unlucky not to come out with a couple of goals. He was just forcing save after save out of Lloris. He's not probably had the most productive season, but Wolves do have 2 games. And then the last one, he's only 4.5% ownership. It's Lacazette for Arsenal. They've got 2 games. He's their only striker at the moment. I think he's worth a punt. So that's my 3 differentials.
No, some cracking shouts there, mate. The Fabinho one, I think I might have tipped you off on this one on the UCL podcast, didn't I?
You did actually. I remember you did put him in your UCL team. I do remember, but he's just on fire. He's on fire. He's had a couple, I think, 3 double-digit scores now. Look, maybe he might have run out of his luck now, but I think Liverpool have just been unbelievable with their set pieces, haven't they, in the last sort of month or so? And I think he's about 5.4 million. And the Jota news, we're obviously all waiting on it. But it doesn't sound too promising. But it might be just worth putting him in. I think, especially say someone like myself, I'm probably going to be on a wild card in a few weeks' time. I can probably have him for this game week, bench him in the next one, and then wild card him out anyway at some stage. But I think it's just good to have some extra Liverpool coverage, and he's just popping up with goals.
Yeah, nice. And he's kind of maybe on the verge of that enabler kind of status, isn't he? Give or take a couple of K. But in terms of your 3 teams to watch, you got obviously Lacazette and your differentials. Are you going to do Arsenal make it into your 3 teams to watch? Yeah,
they're going to have to. They're going to have to. They've got to like the Brentford game's a good fixture for them at home. Brentford haven't really looked too flash now for the last couple of months. And then they got the Wolves game. They beat Wolves the other week. So I can see Arsenal coming out with some points in this next couple of games. So they make it in. Wolves also make it in. I know they got Arsenal on one of the fixtures, but they got Leicester in the first one at home. And those games have been really exciting down the years, the Wolves-Leicester games. So Wolves are in there. And then Liverpool are in there. Liverpool have to be in there with Norwich and Leeds. So that's my 3 teams. All double game weekers as well.
Yeah, all double game weekers, and obviously a lot. The Wolves one's interesting. Like Jimenez obviously got the goal. What a finish that was as well by him, by the way. So obviously you're fancying him too. I know you're a big fan.
Yeah, I love Raul Jimenez. Obviously he did the business for me at the start of the season. I managed to get onto him when he went on that sort of goal scoring streak at the, it took him a few games. He got up and running. Not sure that strikers seem to be quite flat at the moment. I'm not too sure. I think Wolves defensively, I'm probably sort of more keen on the Wolves defenders than I am the attackers. But, if you're swapping up, say, a Calvert-Lewin, then it's probably not a bad transfer if you want to, you're getting 2 games out of him, aren't you? So, why not?
Yeah, nice. I do like Sarr as well in goal. I think he's just been a bit too expensive to bring in. Yeah. But he'd been a great pick if he was a bit cheaper, right?
Phenomenal. He's phenomenal, Jose Sarr. He was one we spoke about on the pod, I think 3 weeks in when Wolves lost all their games, but he was just a standout, and some people managed to get on him quite early, and he's been unreal. He was good on the weekend against Spurs as well. The amount of saves he made in that second half, he's unbelievable.
Yeah, nice. And then over to your captains. Obviously, this is the headache we all have each week. Who we're going to put this captain's armband on? It's generally the perma captain, but anyone else in there that might surprise us?
Obviously, we've got the Salah and the Trent picks, who I really like. I think everyone likes those two. I'm going to put Son on there. I know Spurs have lost the last couple of games, but we've still created chances. We've still scored goals. Not in the Wolves game. In the Saints game, we scored goals. In the Wolves game, though, Son was still having shots on goal. It wasn't like we didn't have any shots on goal. He's got a great record against City. Very good record. I think it's one of his favourite teams. Great record against Burnley. Over 2 games, look, Spurs aren't on great form in the last couple of games, but I still think he's a captain shout. And I'm going to put Ramsdale on there as well from Arsenal. I just think the amount of bonus and save points he's accumulating this season. He's definitely a captain option, but yeah, you can't look past Salah and Trent. Like they're just on a different level this season.
Yeah, it's tough to do it. But if you are chasing, and you are trying to get these points, you are looking for those kind of differential captains. And and the likes of Ramsdale and Son are good shouts. I mean, even Trent really. I don't think a huge percentage of people go for Trent. So I think he's a good looking one to do. But obviously the curveball, the monster gamble. Who've we got?
This is painful. Obviously, as a Spurs fan, I've been really big on the Arsenal players. I know we got Mike helping tuning in, and he's obviously a big Arsenal fan. And but I can't be biased towards my own club, and I'm actually going to pick an Arsenal player as my curveball, and I'm going to pick Gabriel.
Wow,
he's just for me. I've got Tierney in my own team, Kieran Tierney, but I think Gabriel's just a threat. Arsenal win their set pieces. He's had some double-digit scores this year, Gabriel, and they're keeping clean sheets. They're tight at the back, and yeah, look, for those that they just they just want to play for fun. They want to do something completely wild. I actually think he's a really good pick, and he's had some really big scores this year. So yeah, I'm going to throw him in as a curveball shout.
Yeah, what a shout. 6.9% ownership, 5.3 price, and 98 points overall. He's hauled with 3 goals this season. That's more than some of our strikers that we have to keep picking this season, isn't it?
It is, and I've just seen in the comments from Football Chat Box, he said Brentford are one of the worst for headed goal attempts conceded in the last 4. So, kind of backs up a bit of the Gabriel, love there. But I just think, looking at that Arsenal defence, if you're going to pick one, he's one that just catches the eye. And there we go, Mr. Arsenal himself, Mike has said it as well. So, I just think he just looked good for Arsenal, and I think. He's worth getting in if you don't have any Arsenal coverage. I'd probably say he's the man. Yeah,
perfect, mate. Some good shouts in there, and obviously you're an Arsenal fan for the day, aren't you? There,
I've got it. Yeah, the FPL. It's I've got to take the Spurs hat off, unfortunately. But if they don't get points, I'm not going to complain as well. So
yeah, fair enough, mate. And that wraps up the Guru section. So it is now time for the guest section. We are super excited and feel super honoured as well at the same time to welcome the FPL planner, Tien. Tien, how are we, mate?
Very good. Good evening, lads. So happy to be here today, and yeah, lovely to chat to you guys, and very excited.
Fantastic, mate. You've been waiting very patiently in the back of the studio. Hope you've been enjoying the nonsense that we come out with. But you've been superb in there, mate. So today's guest, FPL planner, 794th in the world overall, 20th in Australia, 2nd in the FPL Addicts Free Mini. He's racking these titles up already nearly, and it's certainly by no accident. He's been changing the game for fantasy managers with with how he plays the game. And it's something some of you might want to tune into tonight and be a part of. But Tien, obviously your season so far, you are flying. We are looking up to you. I don't think I get my neck that high up the ladder to see where you're placed, mate, and you are obviously killing it. Can you give us a bit of a review on your season so far and how it's been going for you?
So the season so far has been great. I mean, it's it's definitely my best season so far. Got off a good start as well, like 14k rank in game week 1, and then ever since, managed to stay inside the top 10k, up and down a bit, but never got outside of the top 10K, which was quite pleasing. And even got up to 165 a few game weeks ago, before a few hiccups along the way, like the Ronaldo cap and the Dennis cap, which sort of pulled me down a bit, which basically led me to pull in the wild card last week, and luckily it's got off to a pretty good start, pulled me right back in, so can't complain too much.
No, you're absolutely flying there, mate. I'm just looking at your game week history here. So obviously you were 14K after game week 1, and then you've stayed right under there all season so far. It's an absolutely incredible feat to be doing. Obviously, some of us boys are absolutely yo-yos going up and down, and obviously some players are also kind of holding their own. But you've done fantastic in there, mate. In terms of history, I'm just going to go back on your couple of seasons so far. You obviously started back playing in 2014. You had a cracking first season there, 54K. You finished, just under 55. Absolutely incredible number. And then you've kind of been, in and around 150, top 25K. And then obviously you had a bit of a bad season 2017-18, but we could put that onto different distractions with life as it happens day to day. And then obviously went downhill again 18-19, but then you came back with a 12.5K finish and then a 4.5K finish last year. So 2019, when you came back with that 12.5K finish, what changed for you from the previous 2 seasons?
That was when I started to take it a bit more seriously. So obviously, you can see like the first season was simply beginner's luck. I had no idea what I was doing. There was not much to talk about there. And I think some of the cheat was slightly different as well. So you can see like the total points are quite low back then, for quite, reasonable rank. But you can sort of up and down, mainly just playing in my, work mini league. Which is a few mates. So there wasn't too much to pay attention to, like 2018, 19, when I started, to try a little bit harder, but then I didn't really get a good end. Actually, my worst season there, so I was like, oh Jesus! Actually, try to be a bit active on Twitter, try to learn from a lot of like big Twitter accounts, very very good managers out there, and started to actually develop my own plan a spreadsheet there as well, because I think that was when the sort of the 2019-20 season was when the COVID lockdown, right? You got like a long break, so that was when I was started building my own spreadsheet and started to plan things a bit more properly, and I think that has been a big help.
No, incredible, mate.
Awesome, and it's great to have you on, mate. Like, obviously we call you Tien, but I just know you as Planner from Twitter and stuff. It's been great interacting with you on there. It's just great to finally get you on the podcast. But obviously you mentioned a little bit about your planner, your spreadsheet, and your planner tool. So can you just tell us a bit briefly how you play FPL? Like what's your strategy, and talk us a bit more about your planner tool. What's it all about? Because I've used it and seen it, but just for our listeners, if you want to just give us a bit of a idea about the planner tool, and also just your strategy and how you play FPL.
So basically I'm consider myself as a pretty conservative player, so I don't take a lot of risk. I plan things very carefully, and I do try to be patient as well. So building my teams around core template, and try to get ahead with picking a template players before they become template, rather than just go with like short-term puns, or very risky players, or risky captain, for example. Obviously, occasionally I do take some short-term punts, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But then I always have an exit strategy before I get in. So, for example, like the Saar punt back in game week 5, I got in just when he got the 15 point, followed by a 9 point. But then I already knew that, he was only in for 3 weeks before I wildcard in game week 8. So I just got out before everyone got in, that kind of thing. Or the Harvards in game week 9 as well. Like, it wasn't very successful, but then I knew that he was only going to be in my team for 2 weeks. So and captaincy as well. I try to stay with the template and try to pick the captain obvious. Always pick from the top 2 or top 3 captain. So Salah has been very popular as well, but even beyond that, the Ronaldo, Bruno, and Antonio early on in the season as well. Because to me, while picking, if you pick a very risky player that no one owns, right, and you captain him, it may feel exciting for that particular week. But to me, if you win some of the times, you lose some of the other times as well. And in the long run, I think you generally lose. So, what's the saying again? Like, you win the battle, but you lose the war. That's my philosophy.
Yeah.
Like, I tend to try to stay with the pack as much as possible and make sort of like calculated low risk every now and then, just to try to play the long game. And that's where the planner spreadsheet come in as well, because it helped me visualize all the fixtures way in advance. I plan my transfers, I plan my captaincy, I plan my bench players 4 to 6 weeks in advance, so I know exactly what I'm going to do the following week. And obviously things do change, like player get injured and all that sort of stuff, but then at least I know where I'm heading, and if I need to change plan, then I'll reflect that in the plan that not only reflect that impact that game week, but then 4 or 5 game weeks down the line as well. And it's been a great help for me, just clear my mind and don't get like FOMO and Twitter bandwagon affect me too much. So I think it's been a great help.
Just on that note, right? Because obviously you're very proactive, right? You're very proactive how you do your plan, your strategy. Whereas a lot of managers are very reactive because of the FOMO. You see all the build up, you hear all the talk, the hype, you're chatting to your mates or whatever. So I suppose, do you never get that? Do you never get that urgency going? Oh, go on, I'll just do him. That sounds too and go against your strategy.
I do. So if you remember the season history you just seen, right? I've gone up to like 165 in the world. So that was pretty scary, but then very exciting as well. I sort of start to look up, it's only like 100 points to number 1 or something. Yeah. So at the time I was like, maybe I could try to take some risks and try to maybe
Try and get on top, yeah.
Just try the luck, So, and the double game weeks came, and a few good sort of like opportunities arise, but then actually worked against me, because it wasn't like me, to double up on Dennis and King, because I never wanted Dennis. Right? I never had Dennis before that double game week. I never wanted him. Despite all the Twitter, bandwagon and all the debate about grass versus Excel and all that, I never wanted him in my team. And my normal way of playing, I would never double up the Watford striker. I would normally just go with King and captain King, and then just go with that. But I took a hit to get Dennis in, just try to chase. So that was more a bit of FOMO, but then a bit of trying to do something a bit different. And so after that, a couple of weeks of back-to-back red arrow, like big one as well. With the Bruno captain swing that I captained Ronaldo the week beforehand. So that's really sort of like pull me back and say, just need to calm down and go back to the way I play, because otherwise, it's just not myself.
Yeah, that's brilliant, Tien, and great to have you on. It's nice to see your face and learn all about what you kind of do best, and the strategy side of things is definitely intriguing. And hats off to you for being sort of so patient, so reserved. But like the rest of us, you do get a bit of FOMO. You do try and mix it up a little bit. And if these things don't work, you go back to the drawing board, and I think that's what you've certainly done. Let's talk about your. Well, I want to talk about what's on the screen there, the wildcard team selection. Firstly, it's huge that you played your wildcard in game week 25. Not many managers might have looked at it like that, but you've certainly took the bull by the horns and kind of attacked it really well. It's paid off, huge haul. You know, will there be many changes in the next few game weeks for you on the back of this, or?
Yeah, so obviously, you know, I did a live stream with FPL Inzaghi last week, just before the game week deadline to discuss about my wildcard, and actually that was a big help because, you know, talking through it with Ryan and also, you know, interacting with the people in the chat and, you know, later on Twitter as well, sort of, you know, clear my head a bit. But you know, one of the main reasons why I wildcarded was, you know, because I just felt that my team wasn't ready for double game week 25, 26, 27, you know, the playing and beyond as well. Because I've got some deadwoods that because of the you know, chasing Dennis and Ronaldo and all that sort of stuff, you know, hit back-to-back hits that sort of pushed my transfer plan back quite a bit. So I thought, well, might as well just, you know, just do the wild card and trying to fix it at the same time, attacking the double as well. So, you know, as a result of that, I think my game week 26 and 27 teams are reasonably well set up with this wild card team. So I don't think I need to make too many changes. Obviously, you know, injuries might change all that, but at least I'm a lot more happier with my team now than
it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting you say that as well, Tian. You know, appreciate obviously the explanations to why you did that and, you know, what you've kind of maybe got planned going forward. But out of your wildcard team, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of those players in my team. Now, I'm not saying you copied me here, Tian. I'm not saying that at all. You know, because you're your own man and stuff like that. But, you know, as they say, great minds think alike. I know there's a huge rank difference between us, but, you know, listen, no, all jokes aside, I love what you've done there, and I think as I say, yeah, the wild card is paid off for you. Massive score, mate. So well done for that.
Oh yeah, mate. It's a great wild card there, mate. Like, you know, you've done so well with it. Is there any differentials, maybe 2 differentials in the next few game weeks that you might be considering, or you've maybe that are already in your team now that you think could be worthwhile managers having a look at? You know, maybe some of the sort of low ownership ones. Is there any that sort of caught your eye, or, you know, you think might do quite well?
Yeah, so not a massive differential, but if you look at my team, I've already got him. So Brower is currently like just under 10%, I think 9.4% on. Now the reason why, I think he's not going to stay low for very long. Now one of the big decisions of my wildcard was you know, either keeping King or picking like a Eduard instead of Brower, because, you know, obviously Brower didn't have a double, whereas the other two had a double, right? So, but I thought, you know, it was going to be a transfer, like a booked-in transfer in waiting. It was because I wanted Brower. I know that I would want him in a couple of game weeks anyway. So I decided just to put him straight in. I think he's a great option. You know, it's so cheap and he's been performing very well as well. So I think if, you know, anyone looking to, like, you know, offloading a Ronaldo to fund Salah, I think Brower is a great option.
I agree. I've got to say, sorry, just to say, I was going to look at your team and I was going to say Connor Cody is a really good pick. I think, that's a great. Like, he's obviously had a really good season. Wolves' defense has been really good. So, looking at your team now, I think, that's a really smart pick as well, I think.
Yeah, no, I think Cody or you know, if you go with any of the other Wolves defenders like, you know, Koeman or Sayas as well. I think Sayas is a great option because I think he
scores goals, doesn't he? Yeah.
But yeah, he offers a bit more attacking threat as well. But I don't think I could afford him in my team, so I went with Cody. But yeah, and, you know, he will be setting up your team well for the blank and blank 27 and I think blank 30 as well. So it's a great option. Another player that I was thinking about, but I don't know whether I can bring him in, is actually Nick Pope, because you know, he's still very low, like 2.6%, I think. You know, he's got double this week and double next week. And I was so surprised, you know, when I looked at, you know, he has kept 4 clean sheets in the last 7 games that he played.
Wow.
And the other 3 games, he only conceded 1 goal each. And he's made a lot of saves, and he's got like 7 bonus points as well in that 7 games. So, he's not cheap, I think, but if you can afford it, and if you do have a goalkeeper transfer, Pope is a great shout. I think I was thinking about getting him in this week and play the bench boost, but obviously that might not happen anymore because of the potential injuries to Jota.
Would you say he's better than a Sarr? Like, I think Pope's like 5.4, Sarr's 5.2, and obviously Sarr's got that double, and obviously you like the Wolves kind of team. So would you say would that be another option or comparative?
Yeah. So I don't think Pope is better than Sarr as such, but I mean Sarr has been having a wonderful season. Then I think well done to Quentin. Like he's been having Sarr since game week 3 or something. So well done to him. But if I was to pick one now for the short term, it's had to be Pope because he's got more fixtures, and Burnley has been doing reasonably well defensively as well, and they still have 2 more fixtures to rearrange, Aston Villa and Everton, so they're pretty good fixtures as well. So if I have to pick now, I'll probably go with Pope, but longer term, Sarr is a great option.
Yeah, I think that the Pope one's a really good shout. I think what's put people off is obviously Burnley, and then he's just a little bit more expensive. But Pope, I remember a few years ago in FPL when he kind of had his breakout year with Burnley, was just phenomenal when he was back at 4.5. And he's actually my girlfriend's favourite FPL player is Nick Pope, along with Harry Kane. So she'll love that choice as well. Loves Nick Pope. It's been her goalkeeper all season up until I think she had him early on, and then she did eventually get rid of him on the wild card. But she's a big fan of Nick Pope. I think that's a great shout. It's a great shout.
Brilliant. Just want to ask you as well, Tian, in terms of the January signings, that came in, I thought it was a pretty good January sort of window that we had. Who do you think is kind of the best player for your FPL, and why maybe?
Yeah, I think it's got to be Coutinho, right? It's got to be him. I mean, he coming in under Steven Gerrard and it just like fit right in. Like the first 20 minutes on the pitch, he's score 1 and assist 1 against Man United. So I think it's very hard to go past him. He looks so good on the pitch as well, like the way he plays and the way he controls the Villa attack. And I also like the way that he actually elevate the whole team as well. I think Ramsey has been doing better with him on the pitch, and Buendia has been doing slightly better with him on the pitch as well. So I think it's going to be Coutinho.
Yeah, I think that's a great pick, and I think if we look at the likes of Rafinha for Leeds and how he was sort of delivering even when Leeds weren't at the best and so on, Coutinho's sort of got that similar style in terms of impact on games, what he can have, and I've watched a couple of Villa games, and when we all watch football, we do want to see a bit of magic, a bit of flair, a bit of that sort of Brazilian touch, if you like, which they've both got. And Coutinho is a great shout. I brought him in. I'm lucky enough to be able to get a haul from him. It's just about the players around him. If the players around him can kind of step it up a level, similar to what Jacob Ramsey done recently, they'll certainly benefit from him. And I think that's definitely a great pick, mate.
Yeah, and actually talking about Rafinha, I had Rafinha before my wildcard, and I removed him for Coutinho. Even though Rafinha is having the double game week, right? But I just felt that he's been a bit off recently in the last couple of games, and so it was a risk taking him before the double game week, and it turned out to be a good call because he was taken off halftime, and whether he's got a bit of an ego or whether it's tactical, but I think owners must be a bit worried. Like, is he going to start both games now or not?
I think
sorry, Reed. I think with you want to say it, really? I was just going to say Rafinha. I think it could be to do with his contract as well, because they're talking about him potentially leaving in the summer, and it was very strange how he was subbed at half time, you know, against Everton. And it wasn't injury related either. Bielsa said it wasn't injury related. So there's something maybe going on, you know, behind the scenes
games.
there, and whatnot. And yeah, but anyway, sorry, Reedy. Yeah, you go ahead.
No, it's all right. I was only just going to say, with you bringing in Coutinho there, you were unlucky for him not to kind of get you some points. Villa were under par, you know, in the last game, and you know, on another day, you could have quite happily contributed and got you more points on that one. But you know, the reason that you did the transfer absolutely makes sense, mate. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's an exciting player, Coutinho. I think as soon as he got linked and he signed for Aston Villa, I was like, got to try and bring him in. So I'm going to try and work him into my team, to be fair. But that does bring us into transfer gossip that we're thinking of. Reedy's says he's retired from taking hits. So that means it's going to be a boring report from him. But I'm sure he's going to change his mind. But Tian, while we've got you on here, so obviously you played your wild card. You've done a bit of planning, obviously. You're trying not to be too reactive, but you've potentially lined up some transfers for this week. So what I'll do, I think I've got your team just here. I'm just going to put that as an overlay on top of the screen. So talk us through what you're thinking for game week 26, mate.
Yeah, so with the wildcard, I was sort of, you know, half deciding between just, you know, do the triple captain on Salah, or I could potentially play the bench boost as well. And if I was to play the bench boost, I would go David De Gea to Pope, so that, you know, just sort of, you know, boost up the bench a little bit. Yeah. And I think that's a pretty reasonable bench boost team. But obviously that was very conditional of everyone staying fit. And yeah, at the moment there's 2 flags, as you can see. So it's very likely that the bench boost will be off the table. So yeah, so triple captain Salah was probably going to be the obvious move. So with that in mind, I was hoping to actually roll the transfer. So the other move I was thinking about is, you know, whether to do Fernandes to Son. And I know that, you know, the guru has been trying to convince me that Son is actually, you know, very good against City, or he's got a very good record against City and Burnley. But I'm not as convinced. And you know, Fernandes or Bruno has a great features against Leeds, and you know, potentially with Ronaldo might be rested as well. That might even make Bruno is a, you know, better option. So I don't mind having him there, and I think he's got Watford next game in 27. So that will set me up quite all right there. So the plan was to roll over and roll with this team, but that's going to depend a lot on whether Jota is fit or not. So he's got injured this morning in the Champions League game. So we'll have to wait and see what Klopp had to say.
Yeah, nice. I mean, I think everyone's, you know, a lot of people have got a Jota in the team, myself, and I'm sure the boys have as well, I'm pretty sure. And he's got this flag on him now. He's, you know, I think everyone's just going to wait for this assessment and see what comes back, maybe today or you know, tomorrow for us. But yeah, I've sorry, go on, Matt.
I was going to say, can I say, Panna, do you not fancy Webster to follow up the haul with maybe another one this week against Burnley? Or obviously, you've got an unbelievable defence anyway, and I know Cancelo's, you know, a huge threat. But you know, if say Jota wasn't fit to play, do you think you'd maybe put on a Broja, Malpe, or maybe even give Webster another go? Or?
Yeah, I actually don't mind that, because, you know, anyone on the bench can come in and I can see potential points there. You know, Broja is actually against Everton that I don't feel good benching him. So you're right, and yeah, Webster and Morpay. Like, I mean, Morpay hasn't been like, you know, doing like crazy, but he's been ticking along all right. So so yeah, I wouldn't mind any of them coming on. But then on the other hand, I feel like, you know, you got to attack the double. So if Jota is out, even if he's only out for one game, I feel like I need to get another doubler in. So because, you know, my original plan was to get Jota to someone in 27 anyway for their blank. So I might as well just do it 1 week early.
Yeah, fair shout that, to be fair. A fair shout. I bet you gutted not putting Webster and can't get him in this team after hauling. Yeah, I think he was spot on with the guru there, hyping him up, because after a player does that for you, you kind of want to reward them with another game, right?
Yeah.
Is it a 1 week wonder? That's the thing. Was it just a 1 week wonder?
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's
wonder.
why I said earlier, right? You need that plan, because I know I've already benched him for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Obviously not next week, because everyone need to play next week. But he had his spot in 25. That was what he was there for. So I don't get too much emotional about player scoring or player blanking, because if it was in my plan, then it's going to be my plan. I mean, obviously things do change and I need to change the plan, but I don't get too much emotion sort of affecting my decisions. Like, for example, so obviously Bruno could go to Son, but I've already made my mind before Bruno scoring that last minute goal that I was going to keep him. So it wasn't because of that goal I decided to keep him. I've already decided before that, because I didn't like the look of Son and I didn't like the look of Spurs. So I don't fancy him doing well against City and Burnley, despite his very good record.
No, it's a fair shout. It's a fair shout.
Yeah, fair enough. And what we're going to do is going to move on to obviously you mentioned about your captain there. You've gone Salah for the triple captain. Matt, are you thinking the same for your team?
I think I'm going to have to. Yeah, I know I can get Salah in. Yeah. So I can. I've got 2 transfers, so I've got a couple of options, right? I've had this. It's going to sound crazy. I've had this from after speaking to at the social with the the guy, Australia number 1.
Bill Stewart.
Bill Stew, yeah, Stewie. I when he mentioned this, and it stuck with me, about moving out Cancelo, right? And it's probably not something I want to do right now. But I've got a few avenues to Salah. I've got Bruno out. Either downgrade Cancelo for a Wolves defender, and then have another double. But the problem is Cancelo plays the week after against Everton. And obviously, his EO and everything is just so high. It's criminal if he ends up getting a huge score. So there's that. But that stuck on my head from Stewie when he said that that move was something that he was sort of planning. And he kind of told me a few things he did last year when towards the end of the season when he took those risks. So I've got that avenue. I've also got I can take if Yotta's confirmed out, I can downgrade him, bring in another double game weeker, and then bring in Salah for Bruno anyway. And then I've still got coverage at the back. I've got Webster, Trent, Cancelo, Tierney as well. I can downgrade Calvert-Lewin and upgrade Bruno. So I've got plenty of options. I'm just not sure what combination I'm going to use yet. And similar to what Planner sort of mentioned with, I want to make sure I've got a player that comes in that plays in 27. As well. Calvert-Lewin is definitely on my hit list. Watkins has been on my hit list for a while, but I just don't know if I want to. After he scored that goal on the weekend, I don't know if I want to shift him before the Watford game. I've got a lot to think about. So I've also got Josh King, and I'm like, do I play Josh King? Right?
It sounds like you need to wildcard.
Yeah. So much going on. But I've got 2 transfers. So the sort of players I'm thinking of, obviously Salah's coming in. He's definitely coming in, and then I'm also looking at the likes of Kilman. Yeah. If I'm going to go defender, I'm liking Kilman. I'm liking Fabinho. I know it's ridiculous. I'm liking Fabinho for Jota. I'm liking Podence. So they're the sort of ones I'm kind of aiming for in that sort of midfield area. And if I'm going for a striker, it really depends on this Weghorst, his fitness for Burnley, because if you get him in now and he is fully fit to play both games, he might only come out with maybe 4 points, but you're then getting another 2 games out of him and another 2 games and another 2 games. So he's someone I'm looking at as well. So they're kind of the players on my radar, but I just need to wait for press conferences and just work out what player other than Bruno I want to take out. So we'll see how we go, but I should end up on about 6 or 7 double game weekers, which I think is more than I think it's about enough for this double game week. And I'm excited about something. I'm really excited about Son, and I'm excited about Salah. I'm excited about obviously Trent. You know, so it's going to be interesting. I'm a bit, you know, Gallagher's a bit of a shame because.
All of this comment.
Have you seen his points though? His points in the last 4 games and Liverpool's set piece threat's been, you know, phenomenal. But yeah, we'll see. But it's more so if Yotta's out, right? Like who am I going to? I'm not going to bring in Smith Rowe, who might only get 1 game.
What about Odegaard? Do you like him?
I don't want to play that. I don't want to play that. I'm going
to. No, also play, dear. You're so biased, so emotional.
Game week 27 they don't play. So and I know, but then I guess nor do Liverpool. No, I just think I still feel more comfortable with a Liverpool set piece threat than I do an Arsenal midfielder right now. I'm all about the Arsenal defence. But yeah, we'll see. We'll have a think. I've got lots to think about in this team, but yeah, Salah's definitely coming in.
I've never seen you so indecisive about your team and flustered about it. What do you reckon, Reedy?
It's the Yotta injury, and it's the Gallagher. It's Gallagher only gets the 1 game, but I can't remove Gallagher because the 1 game he gets is against Watford because he can't play against his parent club, which is Chelsea. So I'm not keen on getting rid of Gallagher just yet.
It does sound like you need a spreadsheet.
I do. I need a plan. That's why we've got planner on.
His team sounds broken to me.
Yeah, there's options. There's options. No, there's options. I'm happy to have options, but you know,
as well as the 50 transfers he wants to make.
You sound like Christopher Reid. Build Chris Reid.
I see the comment about the double Liverpool defence.
Waffle just then for like, you know, the last few minutes thinking, oh, there's this player, there's that player, and come deadline, Matt's just going to be, his head's just going to explode.
He's going to miss deadline.
He's going to bring Fabinho in, and he's going to think, what have I done?
He's going to score a header. I like the double Liverpool defence. It's something I'd really like to do, but if I'm going to go double Liverpool defence, there's just a lot more work that needs to be put in, the more hits, and like. You know, we've had Planner on. He talks about the conservative style, which, you know, and I think I want to kind of sort of stick to that as well. So, yeah, we'll see. I've got options though. I've got players. We'll see what happens.
You've worked every angle there. Maybe a 1-on-1 with Planner after this, mate. Read it over to you for your transfers, mate.
Yeah, cheers, Jack. I enjoyed that there from the Guru because. I just know that I'm kind of, in a way, even though I'm behind him in the mini league, I'm living rent free in his head at the moment. You know what I mean? So happy days. But listen, I could eat me words there quite easily. So looking at my team, you know, moving forward, great midfield, isn't it, Planner? What do you think, mate? It's a great midfield, that exactly the same as yours. Yeah. So you know, this is the setup I've kind of got, and I wanted to sort of quickly just touch on what Ian said there about his Brighton asset, and he doesn't like the fact Broguer's on the bench and things like that. I'm in a similar boat. Is that, you know, these teams, especially this game week 26, we all want to triple captain Salah, but, you know, if you've got a great squad there, you know, which you definitely need this season, you know, it's a shame to kind of have these players on the bench because they could well. They could well haul. It can happen. So that's my sort of difficulty at the moment with Jota being injured, leaving him there. And who do I have as my first sub? Is it Cucurella? Is it Kufal? West Ham have got Newcastle. Brighton have got Burnley. I've took my -4, so I've made my transfer. Brought in Salah for Martinelli. Martinelli would have been a stay, obviously, you know, if he hadn't got that red card with the Arsenal having the double. But it wasn't to be. So Salah's in. That last-minute goal for Fernandes also has made me think twice about taking him out. So I kept Fernandes and I've took out Ronaldo instead. Sorry about that, Jack. I know you probably won't like that one. But yes, Ronaldo out. And I'll just scroll down a little bit so you can see him. He's injured. He's sat on the bench. Ida, is that how you say it? Ida, either way. He's on the bench. Either or, yeah. He's on the bench at the moment. So he's not going to obviously feature. I'm not going to bring him in or anything like that. So he's just kind of there as bench fodder to facilitate the Salah transfer. So yeah, Jota, I'm not considering even taking the -8. I'm sorry to disappoint you boys, but I don't know. Am I crazy? Should I be going for another doubler for a -8? What do you think, Planner?
Well, depending on who we're thinking.
Wild card.
No chance. Look, I've got Tierney. I've got Fabianski. West Ham could easily keep a clean sheet. I've got obviously Trent in there. For me, as well as that, I think a few FPL managers might have learned the hard way this season with Cancelo, and that's you don't bench him. You don't bench him.
Yeah,
He's got a single game week, but it is Spurs, and I don't want to sort of slate Spurs too much because I know the Guru's there, but they haven't looked great. I'm sure you know that as well, Guru, but. Just for me, City, the way they're playing at the moment, to expect Cancelo to play and even get a return potentially as well. So, yeah, what your thoughts? Was there anything you change, with that TN, or do you think I've got it set up right? Or?
So, hypothetically speaking, if you were to take a -8 to move Jota.
Oh, here we go. He's trying to plant the seed.
Who are you thinking?
If I was, I literally haven't even thought about it. I honestly haven't. I haven't even looked at who I could bring in for Jota. I've just thought, right, I've got a great couple of players on the bench there. They could come in. They could quite easily get a 6-pointer clean sheet. Cucurella could get an assist. Kufal could. For me, so for me, it was kind of who do I put first on that bench? Because I could quite easily pick the wrong player. I do think Jota's going to miss out, by the way, lads. I do think that because Klopp doesn't need to risk him. Simple as that. It's Norwich. We've got enough cover at the moment with Diaz there, Elliott. Even if he had to go to the likes of Minamino, so I don't think he's going to risk him. But if I had to look right now off the cuff, someone who was going to kind of bring in for Jota. If we just have a look, and I just take Jota.
Depends if you maybe chasing the double game week fixture as well. Like Saka, I know he's been bounced about a fair bit, hasn't he?
Yeah, but the thing is with that. As we all know, 27's a blank, and Arsenal, Liverpool do blank. So if I do bring in Saka, that means I've then got Tierney, Trent, Salah, and Saka, who then basically I'll have to just put on my bench. That'll be my whole bench.
3-4-3 on the go. Is that Edar might be available by then? Norwich playing that week.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, the plan is for that. I can then take Jota out if I've still kept him. Next week, that gives me, room to be able to take Jota out. If I do want to then maybe even take a -4 that week and bring in 2 players, Jota's a lot of cash there, 8.4. Take someone else out there, and that gives me more change to kind of play around. But I don't really want to bring an Arsenal player in. I know Saka's sort of great and he's guaranteed minutes for Arsenal, but I just don't like it. I'm being a bit.
Whose head's gone here? Mine or yours, mate? I thought my head had gone. Come on, this is...
No, because, listen, I know my starting 11, Matt. You don't know who you want to play from, this man.
Yeah, it's not normally like this, mate, to be fair.
I don't know. It's like somehow I feel like you're all looking a bit flush, and, it's like, what's going on here?
Listen, that's me. That's simple as that. I'm not making another transfer. Jota stays there. It's just about my bench, and next week then, I make my moves again. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with that midfield. Pretty happy with the whole team, really. So yeah.
In a nutshell, right? Okay, done. After all that, yeah, fair enough. All good. Captain Reedy. Did you pick
Captain Salah? I've put it on triple captains on Salah, basically.
Triple captain Salah. Oh, good man. All right, fair enough. We can move on. So thank you for that, Reedy. I'll do mine really quick. I actually sat down with when we were at the Melbourne victory game after the FPL social. I was sat next to Ryan from FPL Inzaghi, and I went, I've had no chance to look at my team this week. I went, I've looked at my team because I've obviously organising the social. I went, what do you want to do with this team? So I had Gray in, and I brought Ramsey in instead of him. So I thought it was quite a fair pick, downgraded, freed up a bit of cash. And then actually Ronaldo was left my team. So I've gone Ronaldo out, Salah back in, and then also Weghorst came in. He didn't have the flag on, obviously, at the time either. I did all this on Saturday. So it was all looking like a good plan, really. So after the deadline, made those 2 transfers. I thought, right, that's me done. And he's obviously got that flag on him. Jota's got this flag on him. But I feel okay about it. I've got, Jota, I think he could do more damage against Leeds in one game than some players can do in double games anyway. I just feel like he's obviously on form. Bowen, good on a single. Son, I think, Guru, do you remember last year when we were on about Son? Was it against that City? And you were thinking of taking him out, and we kind of went, oh, listen, he's the main man for Tottenham. And he went and scored. Was it 1-0? No, it wasn't. He scored.
Was that the first day of the season? I
can't remember.
Or was it?
It was a fixture anyway, and we were talking about against City, and he did well. He
it was the first game. He scored.
Yeah.
He scored against them. He scored against them every single season.
Yeah.
Plus Champions League. Yeah.
Nice. So I feel pretty confident in him. Antonio, obviously, he's got question marks in him now. If Weghorst doesn't play, I'll bring Dennis in. Obviously, Tien's favourite, as he's mentioned. And then Jota, if he don't play, I'll bring Ramsey in. I don't think I've already taken a -4, so I don't think I'll be taking a -8. And I'll just pray to the FPL gods. Everything's going to go all right. I've done a triple captain on Salah as well, and that is me, lads. I'm not in any flustered. I'm fine. I'm cool. I'm just going to play it by ear and see how we go with that one. Tien, any comments on that?
He's winging it, Tien, isn't he? He's winging it, mate. Come on.
No, I think it's a solid plan, mate. I think it's
solid.
Fine.
There you go.
Yeah, so, obviously,
the solid went out the window when he's kept Dennis in the team. That's when the solid's out the window. I mean, are you the only one out of the four of us who's got Dennis still?
Yeah, but wait for him to hit this week.
he might well. He might well.
I think it's a good week for Dennis. He hit Barney last week, and they've got. I think I said to someone the other day. Said they've got to have a shot on target. Again, eventually, and score eventually.
Like Spurs, they came in, wasn't it? Got to get a shot on target eventually. So
well, it's true. If Spurs are going to score, it's Son or Kane. More than likely. If Watford are going to score, it's Dennis. So I think your pick, your differentials compared to us guys is Diaz. I think none of us guys we haven't got Diaz off these. So Diaz is
superb for me. He's carried the back line for sure. I mean, Ben White's been class for me as well. Obviously, with the clean sheets Arsenal have had, I've got Ramsdale in goal as well. So like the Arsenal double up has actually been kind of really effective, and my defence a lot of the time have carried me this season. Obviously I've been a Ronaldo owner. He's only a hit every now and then. I've only had Antonio for a short time, so it's I'm feeling pretty good about this one. Obviously, I'm pretty excited. I'm a big Son fan, a bit like Matt. Obviously, I'm trying to get him in. Obviously, Tien, you're going to get swayed that way soon as well if you can fit into your plans. So yeah, kind of pretty comfortable with that.
I think if someone managed to have enough money in the bank to go like Jota to Son, I would definitely do that, because he set himself up for the double this week, and also he has a fixture next week as well. So that'll be a perfect replacement. But obviously, unfortunately for me, I don't have enough money to do that in one move, and I don't think I can downgrade anywhere else to do that in two moves either. So. But I think just one more shout that I think about as a Jota replacement, right? What do you think about Zaha?
Matt, you can take this one, mate.
I think we talked about it before, right?
Yeah, we did. Me and Connor spoke about Zaha before, and he it might have been, I think it was just after. Well, I'd spoken about him when he got that goal, just before he got the goal against Norwich, but then he also missed a pen in the same game, which was Zaha in a nutshell, right? And then we spoke about him again. So we spoke about him again on your wild card, and then it's like he's got the Watford game's definitely a good one for him. I always think I feel like he's probably the most nailed in that. Palace have got so many options, haven't they? They got Eze, they got Benteke, they've got Edouard, they got Matasia now, Elise, but I feel like out of all of them, Zaha's the one that he always keeps his place. He's the senior player. I still think he's going to be on pens. Yeah. He's the main man. He's still going to be on pens. It's definitely one that a lot of people aren't thinking about, and it's not the worst your replacement. I think he's a bit cheaper as well, around the similar sort. Well, Yota's gone up to 8.5 now. I think Zaha's in the 7 somewhere. So he's not a bad one. Yeah, for the 2 games, and why not? It's one that's not really cropped up too much, and I think even after that, Palace, they get some good fixtures, and he's someone that you can use, like with your strategy of sort of having players for 2 or 3 game weeks, getting what you can out of them, and then shifting them. He's someone that you can get in, and then looking at his price there, you can shift him out for a number of players anyway. You might have a little bit enough in the bank to get Coutinho straight in for him for those that don't have Coutinho, or there's plenty of players you can bring back for that price. They're good fixtures, aren't they? They're good fixtures.
Yeah, the reason is obviously a lot of people on Twitter would ultimately go to Saka as a Jota replacement. which, you know, is obviously a great shout. But the problem is with those people who are not free hitting in 27, you'll have another blank player, right? So obviously I could do that. I could do Jota to Saka for this week and then move Saka to someone else next week. But then that's 2 transfers instead of 1. Whereas, you know, previously I was planning just to have Jota this week and then move Jota to like a Madison or someone next week. So, you know, having Saka this week and then another move to remove him next week would be, you know, just, you know, push me.
And I think as well,
like
Tian,
two transfer.
That ties in with what I was saying before about bringing in a player for Jota, and if it's going to be Saka, you know, I'll have that problem with all those players on the bench.
Yeah.
I'll have to, more than likely, I'll have to make 2 moves. That's for sure. So Zaha's a great differential, you know, for anyone that's maybe, you know, he's being overlooked, so to speak.
Yeah, he's one of Palace's main routes to goal as well. Like, you know, I think Palace rely on him quite heavily, and a lot of the play does go through him, you know, as well. And I think it's a pretty, it's a good shout.
The problem is with Zaha is
might
you
get
know,
sent off.
if you ever watch any, exactly. If you ever watch any Palace games, and you know he's hot and cold, he certainly is. Especially with that, you know, he scored and you got, you know, the penalty miss and things like that. So a lot more people, or FPL managers should say, will favour Saka based on the fixtures. You know, based on, you know, if they've maybe not got as many Arsenal players in, if you know they've got the 3 Liverpool players and they've got maybe another Arsenal, they might want to bring Saka in. And also, it depends what people are doing. Game week 27, I think we've not really. I know there's a lot been spoke about chip strategies and what kind of people are doing over the next few game weeks. And you know, game week 27 is definitely going to be on people's free hit, you know, chip sort of list, if you like. People are going to be free hitting. So, you know, people may even bring in Saka and triple Arsenal, triple Liverpool, because they're going to free hit 27 anyway. So, you know, it's that word that now is getting used.
Team dependent.
You know, the words, team dependent. It is all about that. It is all about that.
Definitely. No, definitely. I think you spot on there. Like, you know, whatever move you make, you got to look beyond this week. Like, you know, what you're going to do in 27 and potentially a double game week for 28 as well. Like, you know, if Chelsea are playing Arsenal in 28, you're going to have a problem of, you know, what are you going to do with the Arsenal players? You can't sell them before the doubles in 28. But then you can't play them in 27. Now, obviously, those are free hitting, well, they'll be laughing because, you know, that's perfectly, you know, it's a perfect plan for them. But then if they don't have the free hit in 30, for example, well, they're gonna be in trouble there as well. And so it's going to be very tricky to navigate.
That's it, and it's exactly as you say in there about a free hit. If you've got 1 free hit, you might need to be a little bit more sort of planning further ahead what you're going to do with what chips you've got left. If you've got 2 free hits, it makes things a little bit more, you know, a little easier to navigate, and also, you know, you're going to be more prone to kind of attack those game weeks where they're blanks or they're doubles or whatever. So
a couple of comments have come in. Quentin, he said Jota to Rashford. I know he's put the captain armband on him a couple of times now, I think, so I know he's a big fan. I quite like Anthony Elanga instead of Rashford for United. I think he could be a bit of a random one to put in as a bit of a differential, very much. But Inzaghi's just joined us. He's a bit late to the party today. He's asked what to do with Jota, but he's tempted to hold Bruno for now. Inzaghi might have to go back and watch through what we've just been through for the last 10 minutes, mate. But what we're going to do, guys, we could go on for hours, as we know, hours and hours we could talk, but we just want to say a massive thank you to Tian, the FPL planner, for coming on, joining us as a guest today. He's absolutely killing it, and we can't wait to see how the rest of your season goes, and we'll be continuing to watch every single move you will be doing. I know Chris Reed will be watching every single second. It's because he's copied your team already, so he's going to see what else you're going to be doing in that spreadsheet. Only joking, mate. Only joking. But yeah, big thank you for everyone that's joined us, everyone who's contributed and put the comments. Sorry we couldn't get to them all, but we are out of time for this evening. So good luck in game week 26. We'll be back next week with game week 27. Thank you for joining, and may all your FPL dreams come true, and we'll see you next time. Cheers, guys. Cheers, Reedy. Cheers, Tian. Cheers, Guru. See you next time.
Cheers, boys.